Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 71st IREPAS meeting. For me, it's an honor to welcome you all, friends, colleagues, newcomers, and thank you for attending our call and to be here. Well, we are in Berlin. The first thought when Berlin is mentioned is Brandenburg Gate. Brandenburg Gate at a point was a symbol of division, but it changed in November '89 to a symbol of freedom, a symbol of desire of unification. And the city started a new life from that point. The gate became the central point of probably these days the most vibrant city in Northern Europe. It's a city that is packed of ideas and is full of energy, creativity, art, and culture. For our benefit, for the benefit of a steel sector, it became also in the last years probably the hottest, together with London, the hottest spot in terms of real estate and construction industry. So we have to allow ourselves to be here and to be inspired by this city. Now let's take 5 minutes. Obviously, during the conference, experts will talk about that, but I will take 5 minutes to talk about what is happening in the world of economy and in the world of long products. I think that we have to be reasonably positive on what is happening in the economy, on the world economy these days. The world is growing. In 2014, a growth of 3.4 is expected, although it's been revised down like 0.3%. But growth is expected, and in 2015, a growth of 4% is also forecast. So it's, as I said, it's a reason to be optimistic and positive. But in the meantime, the world economy is showing points that need our attention. Let's start by the first one. The first one is, and I think it's a bright one, is U.S. economy. U.S. economy is accelerating and is helping the whole world to grow, and especially it's helping the neighbors, Canada and Central America, to also accelerate their economies. Very fresh data released on Friday showed very strong performance in U.S. after a very disappointing quarter one. Quarter two came with a growth of 4.6% in annual rate. That is the fastest in 2.5 years. Also, consumer sentiment in an economy like the U.S. economy is very important because it's consumer spending means 2/3 of the economy. So consumer sentiment came with a very strong reading in September, and it was the strongest since July 2013. If we move south, in South America, we see a mild slowdown, and some economies are slowing down, like Brazil and Chile. If we talk about European Union now, as we are sitting in Europe, the growth is expected is not as strong as before, has been revised down to 1%, but it's still positive. And this is for 2014, and for 2015, it's going to be 1.5%. But I would say the important thing in Europe, contrary to what was happening 1 year ago, 1.5 years ago, is that we are now in a period of, I would say, financial stability, contrary to, as I said, to before, where we were all doubting on what was happening to our financial system. We were all expecting or talking about the breakout of the euro. I think all these fears are now gone, and that means that consumer sentiment, consumer confidence is stronger. So that's helping our economy in Europe. Also, a very aggressive policy from the BCE is giving an extra push to the economy. If we talk now about the Middle East obviously is a point of tension and instability these days in certain countries, and we can only hope that peace come back to those communities very soon. In that area, other than the countries affected, the rest of economies like in the Gulf are still performing very strong. with a lot of projects going on, with a lot of projects coming on stream, and we can say that the state of those economies are very healthy. Also, in some countries, we are seeing like new days, like in Egypt, where you got now stability, and the economy is benefiting for that. And also in Iran, that we see sanctions being released day after day, and that's helping to these two countries to have a robust growth. To finish, we move into Asia, and I think that in general we can say that in Asia, economy is performing well. Even in China, that with all debates and doubts, the economy is going to grow this year between 7.3 and 7.5%. And this is thanks to measures implemented by the Chinese officials, where obviously they don't want their economy to slow down too much. The only weak point in that economy, and this is also obviously is affecting our business, is real estate and property, where apparently it's not having the best times. Okay, after talking quick and short about economy, let's talk a little bit about long product markets. And I would say, and obviously that's been the comment of all assistants, participants, where when we started to meet yesterday, is that it's not an easy place to be these days. Business is not easy. And we are facing a number of headwinds that I want to mention some of them. Well, I think the main one is overcapacity. Overcapacity is a big problem these days, I think. And obviously the main source of overcapacity is China. In China, new capacity is coming on stream. We're always hearing about talks about all capacity being shut down, being scrapped. Or now, and this is a reality, the government is allowing bankruptcy and shutdowns in the private owned mills to happen, and that's happened to a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them in recent days. We continue with overcapacity. Europe or Turkey is we need these days to do something, because our domestic markets are not performing at levels that they performed before, and because of domestic sales and because of export business that is not as strong as before. So in that point, production cuts seem to be an option. This is something new, or at least not seen for many years, and starting this year is disrupting also in our business, and is the current imbalance between iron ore price and scrap price. Just see that since beginning of 2014, iron ore price has gone down like 32%. And in the same period, the scrap price has gone down just a mere 4.5%. So obviously the imbalance is there. Other issues in our business are trade barriers. Contrary to what was happening before, now are starting to be seen as acceptable against very unfair competition. And also another issue is credit restrictions, where financial institutions are not seeing still business as very safe or even healthy in present days. Well, just to give us a clear understanding and a more precise point on all these areas, Steel Orbis has prepared the best team of world experts to help us to understand what is going on. And I want to thank you all of them to come here and give us his views. And as Murata said, well, IREPAS wish to be the forum where all these relevant issues affecting our industry can be put on the table and discussed. We will encourage you to be participant and to be active in all the committees and sessions that you're going to be in. I think that's a way of thinking that we have to have in our mind, is that we all must be part of the solution in this case. Okay, nothing else to say now. Just, ladies and gentlemen, I only wish that you make the most of the gathering, that you enjoy the fantastic program that the Steel Orbits team has put together for us, and you enjoy the vibrant city of Berlin. Thank you very much.